Hello everybody, my starting screen soon is, why are you doing this? Oh, it's because I was streaming Terraria, so it lost the window. There we go, you can see me now. Welcome everybody to Whimsicraft. Yes, over there some progress has happened, and you will see how that progress was made in my video that is releasing in exactly 2 hours. But before that, what we need to do is we need to do some progress. So as I was talking about a couple of streams ago, Whimsicraft is not, or Whimsicraft Season 1 is ending fairly soon, which means that we need to make plenty of progress to get Crumb's base done. So my base is actually completely finished, which is really cool, but Crumb's base is not, and he and I are working together to finish it. So what the goal is, I guess, is to kind of take this floor design that I've been building over at my base with all of this wonderful moss and different types of dirt and grass and ferns and all of that, and put it on the ground. Now this is not a particularly challenging project, but it just takes time, you know, and I am working full-time next week, so don't have the most time in the world. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and make as much progress as we possibly can today. Now before I go any further, I do want to say that this is also a semi-microphone play around experimental stream, so if I sound absolutely horrendous, tell me please, because I've been like playing around with the settings to such a fine degree that, to be honest, I don't even know what I sound like even anymore. Like, you know, it's just stupid. So yeah, I guess the first thing that we want to do is we want to maybe try and play with this mud a little bit. So there are a few things basically around this area that make Crumb's base distinguished from mine. The most obvious one is the tree density. There are just less trees at his place. I feel that this is perhaps because it's a younger forest, like it's spread across the river over time. Mine is much denser, much more broken down. But anyway, that doesn't mean that we're not going to change the floor, but that does mean that this river edge is a little different. And so what that means is that we need to try and gradient it slightly, I would say. So what we potentially want to do is to go over here and have a look at what I did here. So here there's cobblestone right near the edge that kind of gets pulled inland just that little bit. Now Crumbs is a little bit more significant with lots of mud going right up against the edge, but I'm not entirely sure what he had planned for this. And because we don't actually have a Crumb, I have no way of knowing what he's going to do. And similarly, there was an idea that this rocky area would be kind of gradiented down or just brought down a little bit onto the grass as well. That I also don't know what's happening with. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is we are going to eat. We're not going to do either of those bits. We're just going to start right from the middle. Now, one thing that we do need to do is also to remember to record with flashback, because I want to make this into a little time lapse. And of course, it is already time for me to sleep. And I've got to stand here 500 million years, please. This stupid bed. Oh, come on. There we go. Right. So, yeah. Oh, wait, Cake's online? What? Cake was online? Cake! I didn't see that it was on that. It's been real busy. It's been very awesome. Right, so what I am going to do first is I'm going to do... I guess I'm going to pick an area to work in. I think that makes sense. I think potentially just this front area, maybe this big flat open area can be our beginnings, and then we can kind of spread outwards, potentially in a circle. So, you know, you do one dot and they kind of grow round. I think that would make for a pretty satisfying time lapse, but I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with it. But either way, I know that we need some of this. We need plenty of types of dirt and gravel. We also need potentially some cobblestone. I'm not quite sure about the use of cobblestone, because over here there's no cobblestone in this type of rock. And similarly down the front here, there is some cobblestone, but it's mainly stone. So perhaps these boulders haven't quite been eroded as much as the rocks around my area. So maybe we will stick to stone, or kind of collaborate on that, but at the very least I know that we need dirt and gravel on the ground. Similarly, grass and ferns need to come into play, but I think they'll come a little bit later, especially because it's easier to place them around the gravel rather than the gravel around the ferns. But yeah, there is a very specific reason why I have my sun angle set to this on my shaders, so that we get this beautiful view. Now, unfortunately, it is already warm in my room, so I am extremely tempted to slightly turn down the quality of these shaders so I don't boil to death before the end of the stream. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to move to these. They still look pretty, but they're not quite so fancy as the other one. The vibrance is also a bit lower on them, which is a bit odd. But anyway, yes. Let's see if there are any other blocks. I think moss actually might be a good one to grab. Moss carpets again, buttons, they will come later. And then these chests are all the wood and other miscellaneous rubbish that we used along the way. May or may not have grabbed a little bit too much in terms of leaves, but these will come in handy a bit later as well. So yeah, I guess let's just go over here and start and see what we can come up with. Now, one thing that I do with this that's a little bit different than you might expect is that I always mine all the dirt by hand. And that might seem weird, why wouldn't you use a shovel? Well, it's because if I have these in my offhand and my shovel in my main hand, and every time I right click, I make a path block. I don't want path block. Path blocks are potentially one of the ugliest blocks in Minecraft, like ever. And so, yeah, we kind of don't want that. So yeah, instead what we're going to do is just be slow. With this dirt placing, it's really about just mindlessly doing it. You want to be random, you don't want to go really overboard with it or accidentally turn into a grid pattern, which is obviously the worst possible thing that can happen. And then one thing that we can also do, and I've just improved the terraforming around here a little bit. Now obviously this was not terraformed by hand, I'm not insulting Chrome. It was actually all natural generation for most of the season, and so we definitely have the option to kind of come in here and just change things up to make them a little bit better. Now, rooted dirt does look cool near trees like this. I do like the vibe of it being like, oh, roots next to trees, especially under the birch trees is a really good one, but at the same time, completely unnecessary. We don't need to do that at all. So we do have the option to just spam it everywhere, and spam really is the point of this. It's really not about creating a nice looking floor, it's about creating a natural looking floor. And the best way to do that is to, ooh, tree doesn't have any roots at the bottom. Whoops. I guess I will go and do that at some point, because you can see around here the coarse dirt has been used near the river's edge, so we definitely have the option to do this, because the thing is that this is almost a clash of two styles trying to be together, if you know what I mean. Like the Crumb's base had some like predetermined stuff happening that weren't quite so similar to my base, and then of course with me I'm trying to, I guess, turn it back into my base. So it's an interesting challenge to preserve and also improve. But yeah, that's what I like. You know, we gotta make something fun. Yeah, let's try and get the gravel in. Now, gravel we kind of want to be slightly less heavy-handed with. Obviously, gravel is quite a aggressive texture. You can see it. Okay, you can see it from quite far away. So we want to be kind of cautious of using it. And then, of course, if it gets too much, this is where the glow lichen can come in to kind of dull down the texture a little bit, especially if you have gravel on the edge of a block. It can really stand out like this. What is happening there? Oh, it's a root in the ground. Okay, that looks quite odd. We might put a mushroom on that actually. Try and make it make sense, or just completely remove it. It really depends. Hopefully at some point during stream we will gain a crumb and should have some more epic collaboration. But yeah, this is looking really nice. Obviously it's looking basic, but you got to start somewhere, you know? Not just jump straight in with beautiful terraforming. You gotta work towards it. Alright, now I can move to some moss, which we're going to be pretty heavy-handed with. I think the moss is a really nice texture. We don't really need to be... I say we're going to be heavy-handed. We're going to be heavy-handed with moss in total, because of course we have moss carpets as well, which are an essential part of this build. They really add another layer of depth to the floor, which is of course vital. Now I don't actually have the most moss in the world, even though I do have a very quick moss farm. I use it a lot, so yeah, don't always have a ton, but maybe we'll take a break from actually building to go and just stand and watch a moss farm for a bit. We'll stand back and watch it because it's super loud, but yeah. Fun regardless. Now there is a haste beacon just over there in LTP's base that's been on for most of this project, and I'm trying to run back and forth next to it so that I get the haste a little bit, because of course it does make things a little bit easier when you have haste, especially as I'm punching blocks. Now this place here is completely infested by chickens. There was like 2, I think, on its island. And I started being lazy and just throwing the eggs out of my inventory instead of dropping them. And now the chicken population has multiplied by 10. And it's becoming a little bit of a problem, but that's alright. Alright, so next thing I want to do is I want to have a quick review, so we can pause the time-lapse for a second. Just fly up and look. Yeah, that is exactly what we want. So it just adds that little bit of interest to the floor, makes it feel much more organic and foresty. And of course that means the next thing that we need to do is have a look over there and see what I'm missing. So I'm missing the bushes, which I know. We're missing mossy cobblestone, which is a really cool one to include. It's like the gravel, we're a bit more subtle with it, but it does really improve overall. Egg. It does really improve the area. The ferns and grass, as I say, is coming later with the mushrooms and the glow. Like, basically anything living comes second, but yeah, we can go through here and just have a little quick look. But yeah, it just looks like that we're missing the mossy cobblestone slabs, which to add a little bit of grey, but also more subtle because they have green. Okay, I'm going to quickly pause for 2 seconds and check Discord, just make sure everything is okay, and then I will do some Scobble. Beautiful. Yep, that's fine. Love having a ping looking across at some server I don't care about. Great, cool, don't even need to bother to look at that. Yes, mossy cobblestone slabs. Now, we don't have a ton of mossy cobble, but, you know, it's alright. We don't use too much of it. Now, I do kind of have 2 options. I can put it in the floor like this, and it's really subtle. I gotta make it stand out just a little bit by making a slab on the ground. I think I'm gonna try and make it mostly in the floor, just because I don't want it to stand out too much. I feel that Crumb's area is perhaps slightly more lush than mine. Mine feels a little bit rockier, a little bit more rustic, whereas Crumb's is a little bit brighter, fresher, you know. Okay, not sure what I'm doing there. Let's not do that, actually. That looks terrible. Let's do it over there. Now, I do need to be wary that I am kind of moving outside of the range of where the dirt is, but to be perfectly honest, it doesn't matter a whole lot, because we can always come back and correct all our terrible mistakes. And that is the joys of Minecraft. Right, okay, I'm going to go and sleep. I was going to pause the time-lapse to sleep, but to be perfectly honest, this is going to be a pretty long time-lapse, so I'm not too worried about it. Yep, right. Yeah, over here somewhere is probably good. And down below. This was really cool, actually. This fallen tree I made a really long time ago because I thought it would be a really cool way to connect our bases. Little did I know that they'd be fully connected by style. So I think that's really cool. Prophetic tree. Yeah. Just keep going with this. It looks like this could potentially do with a little bit more of everything. But I think the bushes are going to be pretty dense around this area. As if the lack of trees has allowed the bushes to become much bigger, much more dominant of the area. So that means that we are kind of in a point where we can do the bushes, which is really cool. We've done most of the floor stuff, so the bushes, we need a bit of flowering azalea and a bit of normal azalea, which we don't actually have a ton of, which is a little bit scary because obviously you want to have mainly normal with a little bit of flowering. Now on my side, there's no flowering azalea at all. But on this side there is, so we're gonna do it. Because I do really like flowering azalea. I think it's a really, really pretty block. Maybe not my favourite block in the game, but one of my top 10 favourite blocks in the game is flowering azalea. I just think it's so nice. I think what we can do is we can actually be really heavy-handed with this. The sunbeams, dude. I love shaders, man. Stuff like that. This is why we build trees. Just amazing. I remember seeing that funny clip of that guy at the concert. What was it? Oh yeah, he was just like staring off into the trees instead of actually listening to the music. With like, or was not even concentrating. Too enamored by nature to even know what's going on. But, yeah. I think I'm gonna... The problem is that those boxes are getting in the way a little bit, so what we may have to end up doing is moving those boxes away, maybe onto a sky platform. Both me and Crumb are thankfully using Elytra. And weird people on the server just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to use an Elytra. Why? Why do you make your life harder? Yes, anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to continue the spam now. The bushes here are very light, and I think what I might do is literally just expand them a little bit. Make them match a little bit more with what I'm doing. That is a comically loud motorbike outside. Thank you for that. You know, there's always the debate. It's like, on the one hand, it's boiling hot in my room, and I will melt if I don't open my window. But you guys can hear every single car and animal that makes a noise outside. So, yeah. Great. The wonders of not having AC. But do I deserve it for living in England? No. Right. I'm not feeling like too confident with this bush placing at the moment. I feel like it's perhaps not particularly good, but to be perfectly honest, there's not much I can do about it. So instead, I'm just going to continue and hope that it's unnoticeable by the end. Which is, of course, probably stupid, but, you know, that's what you get from me, right? Okay. Gonna have a quick pause here, because I am gonna fully stop and fly up and look. To be fair, it's quite pretty, but it's not dense enough. How interesting. Because that felt like a lot of bushes. Like, if you look over here, there really isn't that much. Like, sure, there's some here and here. Some on the coast, kind of like dropping into the river a bit, but really it's not a ton. Okay, there's quite a lot near the paths, but like, overall, it doesn't feel like a load, but I guess we need to be more heavy-handed with it. And then once we've got a density that I'm happy with, basically all of the free real estate will then just be filled up by ferns and grass, both the short and the tall variety. I know my time-lapse isn't... I just want to do this one. I'm going to get a feel for it. If I kind of expand it out a little bit, yeah, it does look better when the bushes are slightly uniform in size. But, yeah. Alright, so... a little bit more. Because we're working in a small area, we can kind of get a feel for how the small area looks. And then just multiply up, which is very handy indeed. Right, so... paused. Okay, we were unpaused that time. That's great. I don't know how long we were unpaused for. I'm sure someone in chat could go back and look and laugh at me, but you know, it's fine. Now here I avoided, but we shouldn't be avoiding it. We should be placing bushes. Now this one's a little bit smaller, as if it's not quite got enough space to grow, I guess. Similarly, we're gonna quickly do this one. Yep, good. Okay. I am happy with this, and of course it's raining, and I won't be able to see anything. Pause real quick. And while we're paused, I'm gonna let the night roll in, and then we can sleep and get rid of the rain. Right. Gonna fly up into the sky. Yeah. Okay, we're definitely getting somewhere with this. We still need more time. Definitely need more time with this, but yeah, we are making progress that I am happy with. So I think what I'm going to do next is I am going to grab a stack of this, and we also need, okay, glow lichen, I guess, but we also need bone meal, which I do not have any of, so while we wait for it to turn to night, I will fly to my industrial district. Well, I will take another portal to my industrial district. Flying there would be a little bit silly. I should use Crumb's port. It's way better than mine. Mine's just shoved in a basement. His is like an entire base. It's awesome. Right, that is my underground area. My industrial district is over this way, following the torches. Whee! Weird how like the portal color is like way less saturated when I'm far away. See, that's a shaders thing, but I don't know. Yeah, alright, still raining, which is great because it allows me to not use rockets. Probably would have been faster to fly in the rain, actually. Either way, bone meal. Aha! That's what we're looking for. And while we are here, I'm going to check whether we've got any moss, because I don't know whether we do. Okay, we have a little bit. Yeah, tiny bit. Not bad. I'm not complaining. I will take it. Right, let's fly home. Be this way. Come on, chunks, please load. I know there's not any mountains between here and my base, but I still prefer the chunks to be there. Fly over some amazing bases, and we're back. Yeah, that was a lot faster than taking a portal. Alright. Is it? No, I thought it stopped raining then. I was like, what? No, just me being stupid. Right. Is it anywhere near night? No. Yeah. Actually, I was going to say we might need to get some more glow lichen, but we had like 8 stacks, right? That's probably enough. Okay. Right. Here. And there we go. Is it anywhere near night? I'm going to say probably not. This is where all the chickens come from. Me being bored, collecting up all the eggs and then going, wee! Right. Bruh. Oh, good. I'm sleepy, but it's not even night. I'm saying though. We won't need to wait too much longer. I don't know why I'm stalling this out. Like, in the time-lapse I can just get rid of the rain, but even so, I don't want to build in it. It's so ugly, I don't even want to place blocks while it rains. It did give us an excuse to go get some bone meal though, which I'm pretty sure I had loads in my storage system actually. Or maybe in these misc chests. Okay, that was a little bit in, literally here. Okay, I'm so good at this game. Right. There we go. But yeah, no, actually, I want to quickly talk about last stream. Last stream we did a Terraria stream, which I haven't done in a little while, and we did play the For the Worthy scene. I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, next week I will be playing Terraria again instead of hardcore. I know people do like hardcore, but I'm enjoying Terraria, so that's what we're going to do. And you can't control my streams. Right. Yeah. So the glow lichen is actually probably the easier bit, because you literally just kind of like run around and just place it wherever you feel like it should be. We don't want too much of a density of glow lichen, because there can be a little bit of a problem with the whole place just subtly glowing for literally no reason. So, you know, you gotta be a little bit careful with it, but generally we can be fairly chill, heavy-handed with it. I don't know. I just like glow lichen, you know. Nice block. Makes things look good. We could even put a little bit on that tree. Generally, we don't put glow lichen on those trees. And talking about trees, I'm going to very quickly give this tree some structure. It doesn't look like it's falling down. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Right, that tree is no longer going to collapse. Yep. So, grass and ferns, this is the bit that actually requires thought, because you want to be like relatively random but slightly patchy, and you also want to make sure that you're getting a decent spread. You want to get big and small. It's quite challenging, okay? But anyway, we can start by literally just spamming down some of the short grass. Now I could do it in like groups. This grass grows in two different ways. Like the slightly taller grass, it either grows just randomly like this, or it grows like a little bit patchy. And I think I just want to go with a random way, because I feel like I don't want, in this place, it can obviously be pretty busy. Like your eyes can be caught on a lot of different things in this area. So I feel like by making things random, they're less eye-catching. Like if there was a really big patch of tall grass, you'd be like, what's that? And like look at it. Whereas if it was kind of random, you would be less inclined to stare at it, I guess. Be confused by it and want to look at it more instead of the actual good stuff, which is the trees and of course the centerpiece of this area. Crumbs, beautiful mountain. And we're actually building on the back of this base, which obviously you may have already realized that the front of this mountain, or this bit of the mountain, is not looking very interesting. And I did mention a portal, but yeah, basically this is not the actual main part of his base, which is one of the reasons why I started here, because of course, you know, if it's not quite perfect, and I'm a bit out of practice with placing, or it doesn't feel very good, like, you know, we can always kind of forget about it. But yeah, for now we can still safely get stuck by a wall. And of course, having grass like right under the trees really gives it that element of like them being part of the build. Like if I put grass here, it's like actually blocking the vines from growing, so it really feels integrated into the build. And that's super important to me. It's one of the reasons why the trees have mushrooms, because the mushrooms will naturally spread from the wood down onto the ground, and that will just give that organic feeling of connection, which is of course vital. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause for a second, fly up and see how this feels. Okay, that looking kind of sick. Yeah, quite a fan of how this has come together. Can't believe that I still haven't actually should repair my gear and maybe get a couple of levels back. So we'll take a 2-second break. It's been half an hour, so I'm gonna do something different for a second. Pretty funny. So the episode that I am releasing today had a little tiny problem where I kind of wanted to extend the length of the video a little bit. Now that sounds kind of weird, like, oh, why would you want that? But I don't know, the video felt a little bit compact, a little bit fast paced, so I wanted to had just a little bit of extra time. And, yes, it meant that some of the continuity was a little bit strange, but saying that, I was like, oh my god, I need more footage. And then me on stream said, oh my god, half an hour has passed already, how? You know, like the difference is astounding. Alright. That's my way. Okay, the roof. Amazing. Down here. It's crazy how many times I've used this. So I paid for a season pass to use this Enderman farm. And I thought I might regret it. Like, oh, I've got villagers and stuff. I won't use the XP too much. But I paid 69 diamonds to use this. And it was probably the best 69 diamonds I've ever spent. Because I probably used it up 1,000 times. Maybe not 1,000, that seems a bit much. Probably hundreds of times, I would say. How does this still need more XP to repair? Like, I know I'm working with leaves, but bruh. Alright, cool. Thankfully our inventory was full, so we didn't pick up any pearls. Although we stood close enough to pick it up anyway. Can we glide through the exit? Oop. Oh, we can. Okay, hit my head, but we flew halfway through, right? That counts. I believe the end is still covered in snow. I think it was someone wanted to farm up a bunch of snow, so they just shoved some snow golems in there and just like, oh yeah, that's fine. And we're all like, bro, what? And now the end is covered in snow and will continue to be covered in snow. Forever, probably. Right. Okay. So we're kind of at a stage where we have successfully done a good chunk of this area. And I want to have a proper review. So obviously we kind of just stood back and went, yeah, that looks decent. One thing that we can do is have a no shader. Oh, it's so grey. Because I have vibrance turned up with the shaders. My pack allows that. It means that the world looks very ugly after. But the thing about this is it's really important because we just have better visibility. We can see that my forest looks like this, and then this forest looks like this. So something about this forest that I can recognize is that it definitely feels a lot less dense. Like, obviously that's kind of the point, but it feels wrong to me. Like, I don't think it is wrong. Like, I feel like this is about right, but it feels wrong because it doesn't look like this, if you know what I mean. I mean, we are missing a couple of things, which I should have cancelled the flashback. We're missing the moss carpets. I didn't put any of those in, and they make a really big difference with the bushes. So I think I will do that. I'm going to do this and throw that out because it's one moss block and nobody cares. So yeah, I'm going to come in with some moss carpets now. Hopefully we can do a good amount of spam with this, and I'm going to put my shader pack back on because, yeesh, yeah, lack of shader pack is not great. I don't know why, but saying not great reminded me of a song that I am listening to continuously at the moment, which is very strange. You get an insight into my very weird music taste. A barbershop quartet medley of various songs from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know that sounds comically random, but it's sick, and I keep listening to it over and over again, so much to the point as all of my YouTube music mixes have it as like the top song, and I'm like, okay, YouTube, thank you for telling me that I'm completely addicted to this song. But, yeah, I don't know, it's just like technically awesome and also enjoyable to listen to. It's also quite long, which is quite nice. Kind of solid long song. Like, some of the songs that I like are like really short, and it's like, oh yes, I'll listen to this song that I really like 2 seconds later. Oh, is it finished? Dang. Yeah, I don't know, just hits different when the song is super long. But yeah, this is going to be quite challenging texturing this. We might even have to get in with a little bit of dripstone. Change up how the rock underneath the dirt looks. Obviously there is no rock actually present, but you know what I mean, like changing it up is often useful. William. Hello, do I have, yes. Just making sure, you know, whenever someone joins, you want to make sure that people know that you're streaming. For some reason, I had no idea that Cake was streaming. I feel like that didn't happen immediately. I gotta check now. Oh, Cake went live 15 minutes after me. Oh, day. It's cool. Yeah, we're both making base progress. Him on actually his own base, but me on Crumb's base. Oh, wow. Sun. Amazing. I wonder where Cake is working. Actually, no spoilers at Cake's base for once. At 90% of the time, there's crazy spoilers at his base, but he's actually released an episode recently. Yeah, I cannot see Cake anywhere. That's crazy. What do you mean? What? Oh, there he is. He's deafened. Okay, fine. Fine, then we'll get him to undeafen. Okay, I might have just given myself away then. Oh well.
Probably I see you.
Bruh. Yeah. Hello.
You can't do the same trick twice. Come on.
How's it going, my dude?
It's going fine. It's just
I will.
yeah.
Hi.
Oh, where'd you come from? I didn't even see you.
I've made good progress at Crumb's base, and now I can procrastinate.
Progress at Crumb's base.
What have you been working on, Cake?
I see progress at Crumb's base.
43 and I
Nice.
think it's, yeah. 43.
Alright, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, thanks.
See ya.
I'm not going to leave you to it because I'm annoying.
Yeah, you are, Will. Oh my god. We love Whimsicraft. Alright. Pop on this tree and have a look. So, yeah, we kind of got space to expand now. We can kind of move in whatever direction we want. And I think the direction I actually want to move is exactly where all these chests are. So, yeah, I guess we got to move them, right? We've got to move them to an area that we've already worked in. Or on top of a tree, perhaps? I mean, like, with this, we don't really need all of these shulker boxes immediately available to us. Like, the wood, like, sure, we might want it if we want to fill a little space, wait one extra tree, but mostly we don't really need to do that. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some chests. And we're going to kind of pack the shulker boxes away a little bit. First, I'm going to empty my inventory, or some of my inventory, into here, so that I can hold some boxes. And then I think I'm just going to put it on top of this tree here. Seems reasonable to move it not too far away. And then we're going to have a beautiful little chest monster, which is very fitting for Crumb's base in general. So I'm going to pick up all of these leaf boxes. I'm pretty sure one of these is empty, right? Yeah, that one's empty, and I know that all of these boxes are my boxes. So I'm going to keep that empty box. I'm going to put all of the leaves in here. And I'm going to throw this into here to keep safe. And then these are the boxes that we do need. All of those we need. Didn't do the buttons. I'm so forgetful, I can't believe it. Alright, before we do the new section, I need to make sure that I do the buttons. But anyway, these two boxes we also don't need easy access to. I'll put those away. This box is good to have easy access to because it's got the bone meal in. So I'm going to grab this. And I'm going to put it here so it's accessible. Oh, okay. I was not expecting to hit the bed. Okay. Boing. Right. I love how beds are technically bouncy, but do not save you from a fall, like, at all. I don't know if that makes them fun or useless. What is happening to my ping right now? Excusez-moi. Brother, my ping, what is this? It's not even registered that my ping is bad yet. What the heck? I mean, stream is okay, at the very least. Me? Like, 116 ping is pretty bad for me, to be fair. And maybe it's just me experiencing normal bad ping. And then there's Cake, who continuously experiences the worst ping known to man. Right, so this has got leaves and the misc stuff in. So I'm going to take the misc stuff out, put it here. The wood stuff's in there. Okay, cool. And then we have a dump chest for when I'm feeling exceptionally lazy. Right, let's get some buttons in. And the good thing about buttons is they also add texture and depth. So we are going to do that. And the thing about them also is that they add a little bit more grey. Now, as I said before, grey is not going to be quite so dominant as a colour in this area, but it doesn't mean that we can't use it. Like, we just don't want to, like, have loads of grey right next to each other. That would make, like, weird grey spots, I guess. I want to be vaguely aware of that. Now, these buttons, I also don't place it on the sides of blocks, because I think it looks a bit weird. Maybe it's just my classic ability to not always be able to see through what a Minecraft block is. Like, there are some blocks that I still don't feel quite comfortable building with. Even though their textures are good, because I associate them too closely with what they actually are. Which is a really big thing for building, where you want to try and avoid, yeah, using the wrong block. Like with these oak trees, maybe in hindsight I could have used spruce, because it represents the bark more closely, but I went with oak for the very first tree that I built, and then that was it. It was locked in as oak forever, even though it's potentially not the best choice. Right, so I'm going to move all of this. I really hope Chrome doesn't have a spawn set to that bed. I guess I'll move it here. Those boxes need to be accessible. The bed also does need to work. Put it here, actually, and then I can spawn next to there. Crafting table, stone cutter. Beautiful. Right, now, move all these signs. Don't need any of them. I really hope that wasn't a valuable sign, because it's different. No, that's the one important sign, so we are chill. And then I guess I'll throw these in the misc box, which doesn't have any space in it. Yippee! Yeah, you know what, I'll just take this bone meal, that's fine. And then I need to go into my ender chest again, which I have here. And collect back out all of this. Awesome. Right, that is perfect. So now I guess I zoom out to check that the button density is good. Yeah, actually, initially when I looked at it, I felt it might be too many, but actually I quite like the button density here. I think it looks pretty good. Now there is one more thing that we could do in this area, which is add some flowers, because obviously we have flowering azaleas, so the door is open to add even more flowers, but I don't think we want to be honest. Maybe that will change, but for now I think I'm okay without it. I'm gonna pause for 2 seconds to look at something. Yep, okay, fine. Yeah, I guess we want to pick the next area to move on to, and of course it was this area where I moved all my boxes from. So, yeah, I don't know, I feel like I'm making way more progress in this stream than I not intended, but I thought I would. I'm not sure. It definitely feels like this is more than I was going to do. Oh, I just realised that I'm an idiot because I need these two leaf boxes. Actually, you know what, I'll just put all of these in there as like a half dump chest area, I guess. Is there a space? There is. Okay. And of course it's night again. The problem is that even though, oh, it's not technically night, like, I have to sleep in this area because the chances of a creeper spawning are so high and it would do so much irreparable damage that, yeah, I do have to sit and right click a bed every single night. Even if it's really, really boring. Click, 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 click. Alright. Bro, there's no way. There's no way. Butterfly click practice. Go, go, go. Funny. Me playing with my microphone has caused me to realise quite how loud my keyboard and mouse are, because they're Razer stuff. They're a bit clacky and gamery, which is cool, but also means that you can hear every single time I press the spacebar, because the spacebar rattles, which is a little unfortunate. The only thing I don't like about this keyboard is that the spacebar rattles just a little bit. All the other keys are okay, but yes. Anyway, let's go, and it's more blocks over here. So tired. Be tired. I've worked tomorrow. Alright. Yeah. I guess we want to have a look, make sure that we've got, here we have dirt, we have moss, we have gravel. Beautiful. That is what we are looking for. I guess we are back to spamming. Now, of course, I do have the option to do more time-lapse footage, but the thing about this is that it all looks exactly the same. So doing more time-lapse footage would not be great, because it would just look exactly the same and boring. So, yeah, we're not going to do that. I am just going to continue building without replay mod running. Oh my god. Who is that? Who is that? Oh my lordy lord. Now the real question is, do we go out? Okay. Do we go and find him? Maybe not. Alright. Yeah, we can kind of spread along here a little bit, why not? Now, this sign shows where me, Crumb, and Fern all built a tree. And I'm not quite sure what we want to do here, but I know that we do want something here, so I'm not gonna... Like, I was gonna say I might leave it blank and bold, but actually I think it might be better to not do that. Right. Let's place down an equal amount of coarse dirt. Now that might seem a bit silly, trying to make everything equal, but it's actually useful because it kind of keeps me on track with how many blocks I'm placing. Probably should have put that coarse dirt under the birch tree. Well, it's fine, it really doesn't make that much difference. Literally nobody will notice or care. The point of this is literally to just create the vibe. It's not to build something super accurate and amazing. That's the thing. It's like you always have two choices when you build: to make something beautiful and amazing, or to just make something that almost fills the space and creates a place for other things. I feel like it relates to a quote that I heard about how by growing yourself, you create more space for people to grow into instead of taking their space. So that is almost what we're doing here. We are building a space for other things to exist in rather than making centerpiece. And we're doing that deliberately, but also just the vibes of this area mean that even if this was really outstandingly amazing and beautiful, it would still be set back from the mountain because of scale. So yeah, okay, I'm happy with the amount of coarse dirt that we've placed, so now let's get in with the moss. Which is, to be honest, I think the moss might be one of my favourite blocks, because it variates the grass itself, which is really important, because Minecraft grass, like, it is pretty, but it's really boring. It is literally just green. So having another literally just green but different block is really nice. So let's make sure that we do have a decent amount of moss here, even though I'm saying I'm being maybe a tad bit lighter because I think I overdid the dirt a little bit. Still want to make sure that we have enough. It doesn't look like underdone. Right, okay. That is probably enough of that. So now we can get in there with the gravel, which we can be really sparse with, they said. Just go down. We want to try and make sure that we've got some variation happening. We don't want to have like clumps. Like, because I feel like sometimes I like do 2 sprint jumps and then go and play something and then do 2 sprint jumps and play something. And it really badly causes like unnecessary patterns, which generally should be avoided. But, you know, I try my best. That is all that matters. Right. How are we looking? I actually think this is looking really good already. So I'm gonna... We weren't recording, so I don't need to pause. I can just pause myself. Okay. And... Yep. Next step is the slightly weirder ones. Hey, am I early? Nah. Sorry. 52 minutes late, but I appreciate you stopping by. How's it going, bro? Actually, I'll leave the buttons till last because they kind of want the lowest density, I guess. But I'll grab some moss carpets. Do not have any of, apparently. I'm done. Yeah. Nice. That is really cool, bro. How did you feel they went? Do you think they were okay? I mean, their exams are never going to be amazing, but you know what I mean. Like, hopefully they felt all right. You know, like you'd studied enough, passed all of them. Nice, good job, bro. I'm proud of you. Yeah. I still haven't got the results of my exams. I think I'm getting some of the results at some point, vaguely soon, but yeah, we got our exam results 20 working days after we do them, because uni. Yeah, kind of crazy. Sit around waiting for 12 years for like 27 different people to stare at your exam and decide that your teacher can in fact mark correctly. It's like, bruh. Yes. Of course, uni exams are a little bit scarier because, you know, they are like worth more, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you were doing like proper big important exams. I don't know. Anyway, how's this looking? Looking alright, I think. Okay. Yeah. So we've got ferns, we've got grass. We're not running low on grass, which I expected. I expected to have a higher density of grass than ferns, which is why I have way more grass than ferns. But we could go in with some glow lichen now. Why not? Try and add a little bit of a subtle glow. Yeah. I really like glow lichen. It really adds a really good vibe. Why not cluster like big stones? We did have an idea. I did mention earlier in the stream that we might have an idea to do some big stones, but I don't quite know what the style of the big stones is going to be because, as you may or may not realise, this is not actually my base. This is a Crumb's base that I'm working with him. But as you can see, we do not have a Crumb online, so yes, I am stuck guessing. And that's okay, I can kind of vibe my way through this, but for some of it, like the rocks, there's some variation in his style, so I want to make sure that I'm doing things correctly. So I'm leaving those, and technically we have a full week to build this forest floor. So, or at least that's kind of like the scheduled time frame of the project, you know. Oh, okay. Another baby chicken, cool. So yeah, I've got plenty of time to figure things out, and I think big stone is going to be one of those things that we're going to figure out in due course rather than now. Don't get it. To be honest, it's often me assassinating Crumb because it's funny. Actually did a pretty good job of placing around grass and ferns in this area, and obviously Crumb has done some grass and ferns around the bottom area here. We don't need to go too overboard down low. Okay, that is definitely not what we want. Let's remove 99% of that. We can have some areas of higher density grass. Important to have variation, so yeah. Why do you sound so sleep deprived? Because I haven't had a drink of water in 56 minutes and my throat is going because I didn't stream for a while. I'm a little bit out of practice with the whole stream thing, and I am suffering. I should probably go get some water, but also I am so extraordinarily lazy. I would rather barely be able to speak than actually drink some water. So yeah, I am also sleep deprived, but I don't think enough for it to come through in my voice. Not me stretching as I wake up from a Minecraft bed. Alright. Fell off a tree. I'm so good at this game. Right. Let's do the classic zoom out. Now, I was very stupid there. I did all the grass and ferns before I did all the bushes. The bushes have to go in before the ferns and the grass. So, yeah, I'm clever. Right. Bounce up and find some leaves. Beautiful. This is what we need. Leafage. But thankfully there's still plenty of space for leaves to come into place. So we'll try and make these nice and varied. Some random. Okay. Yeah. This is pretty enjoyable, to be honest. I will enjoy stream, thank you, Will. Rose disappeared, but you know. Right. Actually, what we can do, we can use a bit of the leaves to like sneakily cover some of that, and kind of make the stone a little bit more subtle. As I said before, I think that might be the move. Does that look weird? That looks sick. We're keeping that. Build something. Does that look weird? No. No, it looks great. I think I might actually break this button so that we can do this. Do I play any instruments? Good question. No. I have a MIDI piano, little mini piano, but I'm completely incapable of playing it. I have at also one point with my school played a trumpet, but our teacher was the most useless teacher in the entire world, and I don't think I learned a single thing of him except that how terrible teachers can be. So yeah. Anyway, what else was there? Was there any other time that I tried to learn an instrument? I don't think there has been. Obviously I can sing pretty decently well, if you count that, but I don't, because I assume you mean real instruments. But yeah, okay, more bushes have got in. Yeah, okay. This area is feeling weird now, like it needs something. What about you, Dre? I have some really weird recollection that you play piano, but I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah. This is what my top dedicated viewers get, people. Vague recollections of potential memories that I might have about you. Oh, I did remember. Yeah, boy. It's because you have a short on your channel of you playing, and I saw it a while back. I was trying to remember whether that was you, but it is. Oh. See, people, this is why I'm good at uni, because I just remember stuff. You get very jealous. Oh my god, Nightbot. Seriously, that is actually diabolical. So Nightbot is supposed to put that message in chat every 15 minutes from the start of stream. It's been an hour. It's been an hour. What were you doing the whole time? The bot was literally sitting there doing nothing. Why? Okay, whatever. Whatever. Okay, I think here I want to add a little bush. Okay, there's a carpet there. And then the most important thing with these bushes is that they have carpets on to try and suppress the feeling of them. But it's also so that, you know, if there's carpets on the ground, why wouldn't there be carpets on the bushes? Now I do kind of overdo it on the bushes. I think I place too many carpets. I normally do 2 carpets per bush, whereas you can see that the carpets aren't really that dense in most of the forest. But I don't know, I like moss carpets, so I may use them. Right. I would like to know what my coolness of the day is, though, from Nightbot, though. But sadly, I am doing this, and I'm not going to go into my own chat and type the stupid command. Right. And we probably want to do a little bit more moss carpet down here. Now, one thing that there isn't is there's no moss carpet on the edge area, like around here. There's like none. I might talk to Crum about whether we're thinking that moss carpet might be cool to be around there. Now, I've done a really bad job of moss carpeting in general, so I think I'm going to, yeah, go back through and add more, because moss carpet obviously has the height to it, so it adds way more depth than other stuff does. And once again, I want to have some buttons, because buttons look good. All about depth, just subtle additions to add to the natural chaos that is always a forest. Is there any more place that I need to place a button? I don't think so. Maybe here. It's like blocking the vines a little bit. Makes sense, right? Okay, that looks good. Yes, my close analysis was correct. It does in fact look great. Okay. Low but steady progress. But the thing about streaming is that, because school, dang, that is unfortunate to my guy. Yeah. Wait, you did your exams but you still have school? Man, that sucks. Alright. That is so sad. Like, we didn't even have lessons for like a week before our exams. We're stuck at school after exams. Yeah. Competitions. Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, my uni does not have that rubbish. Thankfully, I do not have to deal with teachers being like, oh my god, you should go and compete in the accounting. You know, stupid. Thankfully, I do not have to suffer through that. One thing I mentioned in my video actually that I thought was quite interesting was that you don't, if you make something and it doesn't feel right, like it feels a little bit off, keep it, because it's probably more natural than if you didn't keep it. My cool advice, I guess. But yeah, wow. I think what I want to do is I want to take a break from this because my mind is kind of fried. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to grab an empty box, which I do have, and I'm just going to fill it up with some moss from the moss farm that we looked at earlier. So yeah, let's run over to the industrial district. Alrighty. I love the fact that these torches that I placed so long ago still around. It is very funny with the nether roof because no one ever really bothers to clean it up. It's just like a passageway from A to B. It means that stuff placed like last year is still there. Like those torches I literally placed last year, they're still there. So pretty sick. All right, yeah, moss time. The thing about this moss farm is that it breaks if you unload it. So what I do is, wait, has this been running this whole time? Oh dang, okay. That's quite a lot of bamboo. Jeez, okay. Stuff in that needs to smelt. No, it's all filled up with bamboo. Wow, okay. Jeez. Grib needs a bunch of glass for a project. I might get him to use my super smelter actually. But only if I see him. Anyway, with this moss farm, because it breaks if you unload it, you got to stand on the pressure plate to make it work, and then it's really loud, so I'm going to run away. Okay, I ran away in time. Good. And now we get to watch a very satisfying farm. Okay. Yeah, that wonderfully loud noise. Yeah, we're going to step slightly back from this farm, but we're also going to see if we can watch it. Yeah, boy. And see all the moss coming through, all the bone meal. Like, this is primarily a bone meal farm, really, but we can still... we can still siphon off a bunch of them. Super useful. Yeah, and this farm is super satisfying. Not very satisfying to fix, but, you know. That is often what I get, I guess. Yep, what's coming in? It's just so comically loud. Alright. I don't know how long we want to stand here, but I don't want to get a substantial amount of blocks if I can out of this. At the end of the day, we are probably going to use quite a lot of moss, because you saw, like, I was spamming it pretty significantly on the ground. Of course, the moss carpet's 2, which is 1.5 moss carpets per moss block, so yeah, we're going to need a lot of moss. Could harvest all of this stuff off the top, I guess. It's funny how even though this grass, like these bits of grass and stuff spread when the moss grows, and the really low % chance for it to spawn an extra bit comes up, so very rarely, every now and again, you'll just get a little piece spawning somewhere. And I'm pretty sure that all of these, yeah, spawned in, but on the top, every now and again, you'll gain a new bit of grass. It's very funny. Pretty rare to see. Actually, to be fair, I don't even know if it happens when it breaks. But very satisfying to watch this one. Also, it's just so quick. The only annoying thing is that I can't look into the chest when I'm standing on this pressure plate. Because this pressure plate's here, so I don't collect the bamboo. I'm just yelling over the top of the farm now. I'm going to push it off for a second. And That's not bad. Thing about this farm is it's slow at producing moss because that's just not its primary function. Like it's not supposed to be producing moss, it's supposed to be producing bone meal, which it does very well. Yeah. Maybe I should make another one just for moss. Oh, that'd be stupid. However, what I can do is I can go over here. How much bone meal we have? Yeah. Oh, it's only like 3 stacks of bone meal. Like, we really didn't run it very long, but, you know, we got 600 moss, which is plenty enough to last us for this stream and hopefully for a while longer. But, yep. Alright. Well, Crumb Space. We're not going to go home, we're going to go to Crumb Space. That's why I use Crumb's portal too. Don't need to stop off at my house for anything. And we actually get to see the front of Crumb Space, which I think I've shown on stream, to be honest. Yep. There we go. Very awesome. I assume Crumb will maybe stand here to do his intro, so yeah, doesn't see all the progress that I've made. I've obviously already recorded my intro for next episode, so yeah. Alrighty, people. I think that I want to just continue making progress. Like, it seems silly to stop now while we're on a roll of progress. Yeah. Guess we need coarse dirt, moss, and gravel. I did not say that in the right order, but shush. Place this box down. My spawn is set. Don't know why. Procrastinating, that's why. Dirt, coarse dirt, gravel. Beautiful. Right, where do we want to build? I'm recording for no reason. Where do we want to build? I think that potentially, yeah, I don't know. Maybe spreading this way, kind of towards this slightly denser patch of trees. A slightly dense patch, it's actually less dense than trees over here. Okay, whatever. Whatever. I don't know. Where have you yawned like 12,000 times in this stream? Like, what is happening? I didn't wake up that early. I went to bed at like 1 AM because I was editing today's video and making the thumbnail. Writing. Okay, whatever. Doing plenty of stuff, but still, like, I don't know. Oh. Right, so I think what I want to do is, yeah, potentially expand. The problem is this little bit here with tree gang, I'm kind of scared to do. So I think, yeah, I think I will push over in that direction. Stupid wall. Hello, Honourable. I was going to try and do an impression of the oh stinky meme, but I don't think I've got it in me, to be honest. Right. Yeah, I guess we'll just push the dirt this way. Seems simple enough. But yeah, it feels nice to make progress because, you know, sometimes on stream, it's like people turn up, yap, you get nothing done. But gonna get a tickle, and then the whole world is gonna laugh at me. Okay, how was yesterday's event? It was amazing. It was really fun. It started an hour late, which was of course the butt of many jokes, but you know, it was very fun. It was very fun. Got a flashback file of the event as well. That'll be cool for editing and all that. Obviously, I cannot talk about it. Spoiler. Yeah. Right. Right. Just spread out much coarse dirt around here as I can. I want to get a nice big area going, you know? It can be easy to just do a little area, be like, ah, yes, I'm making so much progress, and you look and you've done like 10 blocks. It's like, oh, okay. And of course, Nightbot. Those stupid Nightbots like, oh yeah, I'm an hour late, and then just immediately appears and is working perfectly. It's like, right. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's why I spent the time to program you, Nightbot. Stop about James with friends and Fisher. Yeah. No. That makes sense. That makes sense. It was chaotic, I will say. Certainly a time. It was an event that happened. But yeah. I don't know. It was a good time. It was a good time, but I totally get it. I get it. You have to go to events if you don't want to. Right. That's a full half stack of coarse dirt, which is obviously quite a lot, but you know, we want to texture things nicely, so yeah. Get this looking nice and dirty. Go for that with this useless descriptor right there. Now this bit here is actually really steep, and I'm thinking that there might be an opportunity to have some like cliff edge style design, perhaps. Similarly here, there's some option to have some cool, unique terraforming happening. Maybe similar to the terraforming that is there. This kind of terraforming, I really like this. I think this is really, really nice to have terraforming. And there's a similar little bit that I showed Fern a while back. Here. Obviously, it looks quite the same as the other bit, but you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty cool. Generally relies on an overhang to work, but maybe there's some option to do something like here. I don't know. Anyway, stop getting distracted and can dirt placing. It kind of went really heavy-handed with the coarse dirt in quite a small area, so looking a little bit extra on the dirt side than it should be, but that's alright. Give that one some roots. Again, don't really have to do that, but I kind of like it, so I do. I need to make sure I'm sleeping, because, you know, creepers and that are pretty bad in a forest. Good. There we go. I missed all this area. This area needs a bunch of contributed dirt. We can get all of this in. And we are all done. Get one or two more in. We're good. No, we could honestly, I don't know why I've gone on a mission to find an exact space for that. Okay, whatever, we'll just put it here. That's fine. Right. Gravel. Now we can be much more chill with the gravel. We really don't need to put too much of this in. I do feel like as we move away from the coastline, we can kind of reduce the amount of gravel, but to be perfectly honest, we're so far away from the coastline anyway, like it would be ridiculous. Oh yes, the floodwaters are brought up a little bit of... No, they haven't. Just stupid. I think we're free to just kind of spam whatever and just pretend that that's what it's like. But no. Now, one thing I am super careful to do, whenever I do texturing like this, I'm so careful to avoid this. Like, I always just like correct it or change it or something. I don't know why. Stupid. For some reason I do try. Maybe part of my like pattern deletion. Obviously when you do texturing like this you want to avoid like squares and stuff because obviously it looks stupid. Maybe that's part of the patterns in my brain and I'm like, yeah, nah, that doesn't look natural. Okay. I think we're chill for gravel now. Means it's moss time. It's moss time. Moss time. Right. Some of these vines are getting a little bit thick in areas. I think at some point we want to run through with some string and try and keep these vines a little more tame. But I think at the moment they're okay. But if they got any words are hard. Okay, push. If they got any denser, it might be a little bit of a problem. How do you stay motivated on big builds? Good question, Wolfie. I think there are 3 things that I do. First, I document it. And so if I'm showing you guys something that I'm doing, if I don't do it, I've let you down. And so I have that. But that type of motivation can cause burnout really quickly. So I have other types of motivation. One of them is that it's my creative outlet. So it's almost a need for me to want to do stuff, and that's quite a unique motivator for me, so maybe it isn't the best advice that I can give, but it's definitely, I definitely use mega builds as a creative output. But then the third big one is I have an image in my brain of something that I want to achieve, and I feel accomplished when I achieve things like this. So by creating that image of the thing that I want to do, I am always working towards that image, and then the dopamine hit that I get from hitting that image will keep bringing me back. And then, so that I don't lose motivation halfway through, I will continuously look back on what I've done and be proud of the progress that I've made. Just the simple fly out and look can often be enough to kind of keep yourself interested, keep yourself happy with what you're doing, push yourself to keep improving, building. Hopefully that was useful. But for me, the next thing that I need to do is carpets, lichen. Yeah. Oh, we need mossy cobblestone slabs, eggs. No. Yeah. Put this one down here. Yes, that is what I wanted. Moss cobblestone slabs, glow lichen, moss carpet. How do I not have any moss carpets? Oh. Right. Yeah, sure. I'll get some buttons going. Where cake went up. But yeah, no, Wolfie, I assume you're done with school and exams now. It's pretty sick. You got full plans for things you want to do? I think I want to start with the mossy slabs. I think they're the most challenging things to place, because I want to be very careful to not overdo it with them, because they can be really dominant blocks that kind of take up a lot of space. I know that sounds silly, but I can't place stuff on them, and they're quite eye-catching, so I want to be quite careful with them overall. Yeah. Give you one right in the center here. Okay. And we get the normal glow light. Bam. Is the easiest bit to do because I don't even think about it. Like some of the stuff I try and be like vaguely wary of where I'm placing it, you know, especially the gravel and the mossy cobblestone slabs, but the glow lichen, I do not care at all. I will just place it wherever I want. Next thing, moss carpet. Probably. How is it raining again? Bro, it's rained twice in one stream. What is this? It's going to end up like thundering and we'll be able to see a dang thing. It does suddenly feel very much more like the British rainforest is based off. Right. It's funny when I'm placing moss carpets, I feel like I shouldn't be placing them on top of like blocks that I've already placed, but at the same time, like, it needs to be random. Sometimes I should be covering what I've already built, but I will not let myself. The waste of a block. Right, I'm gonna go for the leaves now. Be pretty. Go pretty rough with these. Just gonna face them out. Okay, that fully looks like a spaceship. Let's change that. Maybe we go moss carpets like this. Oh well. As I said before, if something looks weird, keep it because then it's more random. Okay. Need to not overthink. Don't overthink, just place. Important thing with this, the build. Really try and keep it basic, keep it simple. Can have some smaller bushes too. That is fully a moss carpet. It would be interesting to have floating bushes, but I don't think it's quite going to work. Now here is where we can get really fun and creative. Have some like droopy. Always fun having a bit of droopage. Right. I just want to keep these varied. It feels like sometimes I fall into the trap of having patterns with my bushes. I need to make sure that I'm staying varied, staying interesting as much as I can. Again, running out of the normal azalea because I use way more of them than I do the flowering. Right. The thing about rain is way harder to see when it's night. But I'm pretty sure the sun is setting right now. It is indeed. Sit up in my chair before I don't know, get so much back pain I just spontaneously die. Actually, I learned something recently that bad posture doesn't cause back pain, it causes back stiffness, which causes pain. And obviously that sounds basically the same and just stupid, but what it means is that when you have stiffness, as long as you unstiffen, you won't have pain. Which is actually really cool. So, yeah. Just stretching can be the difference between back pain and non-back pain. It's pretty cool, I think. Right. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Time for the grass, the ferns, and the bone meal. Right. That is always what happens with this, is just like randomly place and hope that it looks decent. I'll go pretty heavy on the grass because there's nothing preventing the grass from growing, so why would it not grow? Like that's the whole thing with this, is that this forest should be really dense because it can be. Like, forests will naturally fill the space that's available to them, so if you give them the space, they will grow. So because I'm giving it the space with a quite distinct lack of trees, really, I need to kind of make sure that I'm reflecting that in the the grass that's growing. Okay, I keep accidentally bone mealing. It's really important that I don't bone meal because it looks awful. Way too much grass in one spot. To make sure that I'm being slow, controlled, and methodical with my placing. But yeah, I do still use way more grass than I do ferns. So, yeah. Okay, I think we are getting somewhere. Sure. Progress is occurring, people. This is what we like to see. Right. Okay. Amazing. Still need more. Still need more. Thought I was done then, and I saw like a huge blank area with nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Stupid flowers, get out of my inventory. Get out of here. Whoop and whoop. Cool. Like I could see a name tag then, I don't know why. Going insane. Bro, what is my ping? What is that? Brother. Either way, we once again get to do my favourite thing, which is fly up and have a look. It feels like I've made so much progress, dude. I guess this is just way simpler and easier. DMs. Okay. Cool. Right. Yeah. Looking good. Now, I feel like that I want to have a think about something, because I've realised that the reason why this area feels particularly blank is, of course, there's a lack of a tree, but I feel like if I just put a tree there, just like a normal tree, you know, just put like a birch tree or something, it would kind of kill the point of this area being a bit varied and this area being a bit empty. So what else could I put there to try and make this more interesting? Well, what I could do is I could literally make a small tree. Like, there is one example that I can show you. Where is it? It is... How well do I know my own forest? How well do I know Minecraft game mechanics that you can't walk between two walls? Yes, it is over here. I think it's just off from the path around this corner. It is not. Yes, here. See, this is different. This is a baby ash tree. Do you see how it's much smaller? Just made out of a couple of walls. I feel like there's an opportunity for some baby trees. Just one or two. But there are other things that we can do. The biggest one is over here. And it's a fallen tree. Fallen trees are really cool, really fun to make. But once again, they're quite tricky and interesting, so maybe we go for that. So we could do a fallen tree, we could do a baby tree. We could even leave it and just make it a really big boulder. But the thing about that is that those two things that I talked about can be anywhere. Like over here, we could have a little fallen tree or an extra different boulder or something, because here's feeling a bit empty too. But if I fly up, there's a huge empty area down below here, but this is also right next to Crumb's base, so I assumed he left this empty, but who knows, maybe there's an option for some other cool stuff. But yeah, I am trying to think. I think that is something that we're going to leave and we're going to talk about in a video with Crumb, because I think that has the option to be quite an interesting challenge and something to think about. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out and we're going to find the next area to build in. I love how in the slightly denser forest, the bushes are less visible, and they just poke through sometimes like this. I really like that. The other thing that we have to contend with is that over here the grass is a different colour, and I'm not sure what to do about that, because it will make it'll make the grass, like actual grass blocks, way more visible over the other stuff. Like if I go here and place a piece of moss, it stands out like crazy. Especially against the grass, it's so bright, whereas the moss carpet is so dull. I don't know if that's a problem or not. I guess, once again, problem for future me. Or maybe it's not a problem at all, and I'm just kind of overthinking. Thinking that something's going to be a much bigger problem than it actually is. Drop this. It does feel like we haven't used a ton of resources either, which is nice. Like, there's always a risk coming into a project of severely miscounting the amount of blocks that you need and then suffering as a result. But cake raid, yeah. Thanks, cake. It's not right, but yeah. Thanks, cake. I appreciate it. Right. We have made insane progress. Just wanna, guess I'll show raiders around real quick. This is not my base at all. It is Rum's base. And before stream started, his whole base looked like this. See, nothing on the ground. And after an hour and 36 minutes, we've made serious progress in this specific localized area. So that is really, really cool. We've come across some dilemmas, but we are gonna leave them be. So that means this is beautiful. Yeah, I know. I've been, I guess, building this. Technically, I've been building this for like 9 months or something. Because this part was built many months ago, and similarly over there we kind of worked more closely to right now. And then this bit, half these trees were built by Crumb, half of them were built by me, and now I'm coming in with the floor. And it's just teamwork makes the dream work. It's just working together so nice. I love it. But it is not finished yet. We must press on, make more progress, and I think we're gonna move over into this area a bit more. The problem is I don't want to move too close to the rock, because I think there's some stuff that we might want to do there. I don't want to push too close to the coastline, because there's stuff that we want to do there, so I'm kind of stuck in the middle, but I don't mind. So we are just going to continue. And the way that we continue is with coarse dirt. We've kind of come up with a really nice process of building this, which like really nicely, cleanly involves all of the different blocks that we need to place in an order that is logical and helpful for kind of efficient placing. And of course it's night, so I don't immediately sleep again. Let's go. You know, you get into a rhythm, bang, it's night. Why? Of course I can't like carry my bed with me because spawn's 12 trillion miles away and there we go. Right, I'm once again recording because I'm an idiot and I pressed the wrong button. It's very annoying because I have across the top of my keyboard I have F1, which is obviously the normal screenshot, debug screen, cinematic camera, F5, and then F6 is my free cam, and then right next to it F7 is my record button. It's so stupid. Like, I could just move it to F8 and it would just be slightly further away from other stuff that I do, but no, I have to make life so difficult. I'm not even like good at using a keyboard. Like, I constantly mispress keys, and I could like separate them out, or you know, remember to use the like hotkeys that I have on my mouse, but no. Oh well. You know, after an hour and a half of just like placing blocks, this is the type of insanity that we get. Me complaining about my own inability to use a keyboard. Right. I feel like we haven't actually expanded that much. Like we didn't actually do that big of an area, so I'm going to expand this out a little bit more. We're going to place some more coarse dirt. I'm going to be spreading it nice and broadly. Similarly here, this is a really steep face to work with. It's quite tricky. My kind of forest design is based off quite flat land, so it might be a little bit difficult to work everything out. But I think what I will do is I will persevere in this area with my, I guess, quote-unquote normal method. And then if it looks weird, I can brainstorm with Crumb on how to fix it all up and make it look great. Okay, let's go back in with some rooted dirt. I want to try and be relatively even with this, with the coarse dirt. I don't know why. Like, there's no particular reason why I should have a balanced amount of each, but I don't know. It's my preference, how I build, so that's what we're going to do. I guess it means that it doesn't look super underbalanced. Like, if it were really into the extreme, it would feel like the coarse dirt was like, or the rooted dirt was like rare, which would be really weird, because like, why would it be? So I guess by like enforcing them to be 50-50, it kind of makes it easier for me to keep track of it all. But anyway, this dirt feels like way too dense again, but the last area felt like that and it came out looking pretty decent, so I think I'm okay to just continue. Eat some food. One of the things I was enjoying about playing Terraria recently, no food. I mean, obviously I do use food in Terraria because it's good for status effects, but still, like, like, you know, going on a huge mining trip, you don't have to worry about eating food. Is quite nice, really. And then one more. Sure, yeah, that'll do. Right, gravel time. Once again, we're being pretty minimal with this. We don't want to overdo the gravel too much. It's a good texture block, but too much can be pretty overwhelming. Oh god, that's bright. That's like actually hurting my eyes, reflecting off the ground so brightly. Crazy. It's the other shaders, right? Yeah, maybe I should change the light settings in those shaders a little bit. That might be useful. Okay. Anyway. What is that? There's a flipping seagull outside. Super loud noise. Shut up! Right. How's this gravel looking? Looking like quite a lot of gravel, actually. Hold on. No, I think it's okay, actually. Do need a little bit extra. Alright, cool. That's all we need. Now the moss. We like lots of moss. Moss is a really nice block, so we're gonna make sure to be heavy-handed with it. Really makes the grass look good. Similarly with the moss carpets, we're pretty generous with. Need to make sure I'm building right up against the trees. Sometimes I like avoid the trees. Oh, I can't affect the trees, but no, that's the whole point. They're part of the forest. They need to be included. That's quite a lot of mushrooms growing. I might just trim those back a little bit. The eternal problem with building with mushrooms is they do grow, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, I mean, you could like spam string everywhere, but I am far too lazy to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Right. Okay, I think I still want more moss, to be honest. Getting greedy with my moss, can't believe it. Right. Absolutely none here. What am I doing? Like, all the way over there looking like, oh, this is too much moss. Blah, blah, blah. Nope. Didn't even place any. Right. Bro, there's like none. Did I just like walk past and not place it? Okay, whatever. That'll do. Next thing, mossy cobblestone, more moss carpets, and then we need to do the bushes. Okay, cool. These are super bold, so we're going to be pretty light with these, except I placed one right next to one that already exists. So good at this. Right, I don't want that, but I will place one there. We'll rock. As I said before, we're not going to place anything against Crumb's big mountain, even though I think it feels like we're pressed right up against it, that it should all be included and blah 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 blah. We kind of don't really want to do that. Make sure that things are looking normal and natural. Right. Yeah. Okay. One more of this, and I think we are good for those. Unless we want any more over here. Ah, the return of cake. Very cool. Right. Nah, okay. We're chill. Let's go for the leafage. That's what we're gonna call it. It's not foliage, it's leafage, alright. Feels weird placing the leaves first because I did the grass first last time. But this is the objectively better way to do things. But like sometimes I'm like placing the leaves not randomly enough. Like they're all facing in one orientation, but I don't think they are. I think I'm just hallucinating. Okay, I do not have many more leaves left. That's perfect. I will go and get some more. Because flowering azalea leaves is something that I actually built up so many of, because you see how many azalea leaves I've placed over here. Of course, when you grow azalea trees, you always get the flowering ones, so I've just got like infinite flowering azalea leaves. It's just stupid. I can find them. I can find them. I can find them. Okay, there we go. Good for a moment there. Where are my leaves, brother? Cool. One thing I have been forgetting is with these I always make sure to have a little bit of moss on the leaves to kind of break them up a little bit, because the leaf textures, even with the flowering, they're still quite, I don't know, a lot. Like they're just samey, I guess. But what I want to do is I want to come in with just a little bit of moss carpet to try and temper that sameness. Keep things looking fresh. Some of the previous bushes I made weren't touching any other bushes, but I think we are good to do this. Now, obviously, in the new snapshots, I think it's actually part of the game, we have like leaf litter and stuff like that, but unfortunately, Whimsicraft has not updated it, even though it's been ages, due to some variety of reasons, but yeah, I won't get into that. Basically, I'm stuck without the best block in the game for this, I guess. I like also, what is it? The new bush blocks would be pretty sick as well to include, but alas, we do not have them, so I'm stuck with 1.21.4 blocks, but it's still plenty. Build a beautiful forest, and also, if I switch to the 1.20 blocks, I'd be stuck going back to 1.21.5, whatever, 1.21.5 blocks. I'd be stuck placing them all back in this forest, because I wouldn't want them to be mismatching. I'd have to go back and change them. I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that. What I am going to do though, is I'm going to fly up and have a look at our handiwork. Okay, it's terrible. I can immediately see a place that needs a bit of work. Here. It's a little wish. You could not be standing somewhere more annoying. With chickens, man. Why do you exist? I mean, I know why you exist. I created them. Okay, whatever. Gosh. Okay. Sick. Progress is being made. Now let's spam moss carpets on the ground. Because there ain't enough of them. There are so many eggs, and I'm going to make more chickens because it's funny now. Oh, I need a... Why do I have that stupid song stuck in my head that I was talking about earlier? Oh. Sure, we're placing plenty down. Okay, we did not place plenty down. Let's get some more moss carpets. Do I have raw moss carpets or do I need to craft them? No, I could have searched it. Okay, I do actually have some. Beautiful. Do I have buttons? I do. Cool. Okay. Once I'm happy with the distribution of carpets, we'll go in with the button. Then we can finish off with the grass. Then another section will be complete, which is extremely exciting. And I do not sound excited at all because I'm tired. Alright. Go in with some... I can't remember how I did it in my forest. It's been such a long time since I built the forest, I've like genuinely forgotten how I used to do it. Whether I used to do like what order I would place the things, but it doesn't matter. This method is feeling fine to me, so I will continue. Let's do that next to each other. Let's not do that. Awesome. It's fern and flower time. Fern? Flower? What? Why am I saying flower? There's no flowers. I mean, this flowering is azalea, but when have we done those? Whatever. Brain's going. What happens almost 2 hours into a stream, you know? Brain stops working. Alright then. Nothing wrong with that. God, the shaders make this simultaneously very pretty and completely impossible to build in. Keep looking, squinting like, there are grass there? I can't even see. I'll sit in the shadow of the mountain for a bit, that'd be nice. Can actually see stuff. As well, just randomly add a little bit more grass there for no particular reason. Okay. Cool. This is looking excellent. Excellent. Okay. Anyway. Damn, that looks pretty that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Oh my god, dude. This is great. Right, okay. What are we doing now? I don't know. To be honest. What we got? So we've got 7 minutes left of stream. 7 minutes, whatever. And we've got plenty of stuff that we can do. So what do we think? There's always the challenge with streaming. It's like, I don't want to overstream too much because I will lose my voice. But I also want to like make progress and not just like sit around and stare at a wall for the next 6 years, whatever, 6 minutes. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. Do we have all of the resources that we need? That might actually be something good to check. Dahlia leaves. Do we have more of those? We have lots of flowering. Okay, we have another 1 stack of those. Okay, it's looking like we need to get some more normal azalea leaves. Okay, we can get more azalea leaves. Pretty sure there's a bone meal in them. Miscellaneous. Which one? One of these ones? Yes, yeah. Extra bone meal. And azalea bushes. Beautiful. I don't know why these are just called azalea. Like, it's so... I don't know. It's very ambiguous. Very helpful. There's some random junk around here. I mean, this is a really fun game, to be fair. This is actually, like, cool, but it is extremely random, I will say. And there is also junk, like, what is happening? But why are there planks? What? Well, right. Yes. Grow some trees. Now I could find a place far away to grow them, or I could grow them on my neighbour's lawn. So, yep, let's do that. I have no idea how many of these we're going to need, but I do know it's going to be a good few. Of course, all of it's falling in the dang what? You know, at some point I should go in with a piece of dirt and just replace that. Before I capture all of my... Capture a bunch of... Cake is back for the 47th time, wow. Okay. Come on. They're very satisfying doing these trees. Except for when they're one block too tall. My tiny little arms, why? Love how I complain about Steve being short when Steve really isn't even that short. Bro is taller than me. His reach is astronomically longer than mine. I still complain. Okay, literally all of these leaves are going in the water. Great. That is beautiful. See what I was looking for. 3. Do. Again. Backed it all up. My inventory full. Dang. Okay. Oh, it's not full of the wrong thing though. Oh, we don't need 2 buns. Alright. Yeah, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. That was a little small one. A little tree. Do I have a cute little tree though? That is the real question. Yes, yes I do. Alright. Dump all of my inventory away. A classic end of one of my streams. Always emptying my inventory because, like, obviously at some point I'm going to be back building, so why would I empty out my whole inventory? Well, it's because Crumb might need the resources that I'm holding. I'm quite wary to try and put stuff back for him. Okay. We should go in one of these random. Yep. Wood. Cobblestone. Oh, I don't even have space for all of that. Yep, it's going in there. How we stay organised, chat. We just don't. Right. Let's at least only have one thing in one shulker, you know. Right. The azaleas going here. Button. Go. There. Here. Mushrooms have a spot somewhere, but I don't know where it is. It's here. Low lichen. Bone meal. Bosh. We are done, people. Alright, people. If you enjoyed this stream, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, do all that fantastic stuff. The next stream, I will be playing Terraria again. I really enjoyed it, so it will be the same for the Worthy Seed. And I'm going to see if I can, like, make some decent progress. Maybe do like 5 Cthulhu or something like that. Cthulhu on expert mode is a bit of a pain though. Oh well. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, this was a very successful stream for the progress. So that is what we like to see. That's the thing about streaming. Even if it's quiet, the quiet means that you make progress. So whatever happens in the stream, it's always a good stream. And that is what I love about streaming. So yeah, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye, bye, bye. Oh my god, my throat is not good enough to do that. Bye. Shaking all over the place, right? Bye. Bye, bye, bye.